Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video here will give information on the CSEC Reflective Visual Arts Journal from Trinidad. So let's fly on into it. Artwork fly.
Artwork fly.
So allow me now to go through in some detail the reflective journal and what is the requirement of the reflective journal. What I am going to show you here is the general requirements of the reflective journal, and as I go through it I will identify the changes that would be required for this year. So the reflective journal really it is a body of the student's work, and it gives us an idea. The student is able to journal or record their exposure to the theory and process and practice of visual arts. So your students would have come into you, some of them from Form 1 all the way up, and they would have had certain experiences. They would have had experiences interacting with the process, interacting with the practice of visual arts, learning the theory, and it is this information now they are formalizing and they are documenting as they move forward. So what they will be looking at in this reflective journal is the two expressive forms that they would have selected as their course of study. The journal shows whatever research. So visual arts, and I want to make this to highlight this aspect of it. Visual arts is not just about picking up a paintbrush and painting something. It involves more than that. It involves planning, it involves research, and in this time where we have limited time to spend face to face with our students, it has become part of our best practice that research and reviews and viewing of artwork of various artists and even our peers, right? All this could be incorporated in your online or virtual process. So the reflective journal is something that will show evidence of all this research that the student would have conducted. And research here does not only mean that they go on a website and read through. It could also mean that they would have been looking at photos through magazines, through talking to persons, either by picking up a telephone or sending a WhatsApp message. Facebook tend to be a big hit now in terms of getting interviews and so on done. So all this information is reflected in our journal. We have a journal, and this here is a suggestion to make life easy for your students and for those students who are present, to make life easy for you, on a suggested layout. Now this layout we would have put it together based on a couple of teachers coming together and working out something that will sort of standardize and assist in terms of presenting the information in a cohesive manner. So any good journal, any good book must have a decent cover. So you will have your reflective journal cover. There's a cover page that is usually supplied by CXC. You must present a table of contents. When you open a book, you would see the contents, you know what page you're going to get what information. You look at an introduction, inspiration, which is the study work of the artist, what and who and how you were inspired by the study of this artist or the study of a piece of artwork or whatever was your inspiration. Then we look at the presentations of the expressive forms. So when you are presenting the expressive forms, we look at the historical, the cultural, and the contemporary content of each expressive form. We also look at the process and analysis of 5 expressive pieces of artwork in that particular expressive form. Now, that is the general requirement. For this year in 2021, that figure is reduced to 3 pieces. So for the reflective journal in this case, in terms of the expressive form, you will now be presenting the process and analysis for 3 pieces of artwork in that expressive form, and this would apply to both expressive forms. Then you have your conclusion, you have a bibliography, and the appendix. So let us see what are the requirements for each. So our reflective journal cover, the information that is required for the cover must be a well-composed cover design. So as an art student, there is a greater expectation in how you put together your journal. We must see, or you must demonstrate, or your student must demonstrate some level of skill, artistic skill, in terms of putting together this journal and creating this journal. This journal, it becomes a work of art. So how we define, how we design the cover, right? It must be of some artistic quality. We don't just want to take a manila folder and stick some pages in it and submit that. Or what we have seen in the past where students would have gone and get the commercial printed journals with this nice black cover, and they just stick some work into it and they submit that. You would see the difference between those students and the students who take time to actually design and create this booklet. So on the journal cover, it is expected that you will have lettering and illustration, and it must reflect the theme of the journal. So from the time you look at that journal, you should get some sense, some idea as to what this journal is going to be about. What am I expected to read as I go through this book? The theme of your journal must be stated on your cover design. So we're expecting that we should get a sense of the theme as we go along, right? From the time we look at that cover, you must see the theme on your journal as well. But the theme is important to have there. Some persons, they would have used Visual Arts Reflective Journal as the main element on the cover. Alright? We're saying that the theme of your journal should be presented as the main element. You may want to put Visual Arts Reflective Journal on top there, but the main element, the point of focus, should really be on the theme that you are presenting in your journal. So here we have a sample journal, and this sample is from a student from Trinidad and Tobago, and I do have permission to use her work, and this is something we need to be careful of. When we are using students' work in forums like these, we need to ensure that we get permission from the student, right, to use their work. So the permission was granted. So here we have this cover, and straight away we could see that the cover is telling us something about nature, something about the tropical wildlife and so on, right? And it is stated underneath. Whereas we see reflective journal being more focused on, we still see the theme at the bottom of the page there. So we have the CXC cover page, and this one is a straightforward form that is sent by CXC and must be included in all the journals. So your table of contents, this gives the reader an idea of the layout, how the information is presented, what information, where am I, which section, which page am I going to get whatever information, right? So this is the understanding of the table of contents. So here you have a sample of the table of contents. So you would see the introduction is on page 4. The inspiration follows, the study of the artist after that, and then the expressive form, painting and mixed media. So everything is laid out in an order, and it gives you the page number where to look for what areas that we want to find. So in our introduction for the journal, in the introduction of the reflective journal, you can explore the following questions. Now, sometimes what we do is in an effort to assist our students to make the students, especially we know sometimes we get students who cannot read, cannot write. We have to break down the work as simple as possible for them. So what we do and what we encourage is that we select certain questions and we ask the questions to the student. The answers, however, will be formatted and created into the information that we want. So why have you chosen to pursue visual arts? The child will have their interpretation, their reasoning as to why they did visual arts. Now, some of them might come out straight out and tell you, well, that's what the school chose for me, right? Or I didn't really want to do that, but they say I can't do nothing else but visual arts. And we have to be able to work with that as well. But we also have to guide the students, regardless of the circumstances. At the end of the day, we want the best for our children. So why you have decided to further your practice in whatever expressive form? Why did you choose to study drawing? Why printmaking? Right? And we get them to jot down answers. We may have to fix the sentence, and that's fine. Right? But at the end of the day, when they respond to these questions, you are able to get the information and show them how to present this information as the introduction in your journal. What inspired you to explore the theme? So you may want to know, well, okay, why a particular theme? And some children may want to go to a particular theme because of past experience, because of things that may have happened to them in the past, things may be happening to them presently, and art is a means of communicating. So they are communicating to the outside world through the aspect of art that this is my situation, this is what I am going through. And we must allow for students to communicate. We cannot allow students to continue to bottle up issues inside of them. We don't know what our students are going through. And art, if you do any sort of studying on art therapy and these kind of things, it will tell you that art will assist the student in expressing themselves. All right? So it gives them that avenue of self-expression, telling their story, giving their message, communicating what is happening to them, how they feel, what they want. Some students could do that better than actually sitting down and talking about it. So we have a sample introduction here, and I know it's probably a little bit difficult to read, right? But some of these things, it might be personal to students sometimes, because sometimes when you read the introduction and you hear why they choose a particular theme, you realize that it is their personal sentiments that they're expressing. And you notice the length of the introduction is not very long. We don't expect students to be writing an entire essay. on just the introduction. So we go back to the inspiration, and now we're trying to figure out what inspired the child to go in the direction that they went. How did this particular artist or artwork or craftsman, right, what impact this person had on you as a child? Or how did that fashion your work? How did that shape your work? There must be some link. So it means that in the child's research, they would have found out that, okay, I am interested in weaving, and in Jamaica we have Miss Pat Kentish, who is excellent in terms of weaving, very good textile artist, and they would have studied her work, and they would have learned a couple of things from her in terms of how she manipulates her skill, what materials she used, what colors she used, the themes that she used, the items that she makes, right? All these are things, are ways that they could link the artist to their work, right? So it is not just about, I am doing painting and I need to find an artist who does painting. The artist that the child is working with, they must have had some impact. There must be some link, some relationship to the student's work. And mind you, we are not talking about the artist's personal life here. We are talking about the work of the artist. And this is how the journal is a little bit different to the illustrated paper that we had many years ago. Because in this journal now, we are concentrating on the artist's work as opposed to the artist's life. Alright, so we want our students to be able to make that link. The interview is not compulsory, but it is recommended. And the interview could be done virtually. It could be done face-to-face. It could be done using social media. It could be done using your telephone. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, once the child gets the information, and I know we have had lots of questions based on whether or not the student could study or present work of an international artist, and there's no problem in that. We, however, advise that the child try to keep it local. If that doesn't work, we go regional, and if that doesn't work, then we go international. But at the end of the day, what is important is that the student must be able to show how this artist's work is linked to their work, how this artist's work was able to inspire the work of the student. And that is what is important, that link between the artist's work and the student's work. So for the artist's work, you are doing a short biography, and now remember, this is just suggestions. This is nothing that is compulsory. If your student want to present in their own way, that is no problem. We found that this format was a simple format that has been working for our students. So you have the artist's work, you have the artist's inspiration, the artist's style. So the child will discuss all these things. And then the child is expected to provide 5 samples or 5 images of the artist's work. The images must be labeled, and I'm not going to go into detail with that, right? But what it is that we are expecting of this 5 artists' work. What is expected is that the artist's work, the child is able to do a description, to do analysis, to do their interpretation and to show that comparison of the artist's work to their work. So they are making a link. Alright, so the 5 pieces of work is not that they're just going to pull up 5 pieces of work and submit it because they see that we have to submit 5 pieces of artist's work. The artist's work must be relevant, right? And the child must be able to show that link in their write-up. Alright, so this is what is required. So this here is a sample of that page in terms of the study of the artist, and you would see that the samples presented and the write-up for the samples. Now in this case, what this child wanted to do in terms of presenting their journal, if you notice all the background of the pages, they would have had some work done on it as well. It's not just a plain white sheet of paper. So the child would have gone in and designed their pages, right? Design the cover and then put the journal together to form that booklet. Here we have other samples of the artist's work.
Did I see you guys in my set?
These are all samples of the artist's work. Alright, and then we started the introduction of the expressive form. So in this case, the expressive form would have been painting and mixed media, and you have general information related to the expressive form, the historical content, so a little bit of the history of painting and mixed media, the cultural content, and the contemporary content. So let's see an example here. So painting and mixed media is introduced. So we have what is painting and mixed media, a brief history. Then we look at painting and mixed media in Trinidad and Tobago. Again, this child is from Trinidad. So we would get the child presented in that way. Alright, and then the child goes on to present their pieces. Alright, now remember for this year 2021, only there's a change and you are required to submit 3 pieces instead of 5. So you have piece 1, you have the assignment, the child talk about the inspiration, experimentation. So the child did not just go and take the question and jump and do a painting. There was some experimentation, and we would see here experimentation with composition, with color, with techniques, with media, treatment of various elements within the composition, and so on. So this. Then you have the process photos with the labels and the final image. And you repeat that for all the images that you are presented. So in this case would be 3 samples. So let's look at a sample of the pages here. And this is piece 3. So you would see some sketches and thumbnail sketches. And each one will have a little bit of write-up on it explaining what is happening at the process. And what decisions the child have made and what led them to making those decisions. So here we see the inclusion of color. We're looking at the treatment of the feathers. So the child is exploring colors, the child is exploring technique to get texture and so on. And then we move to the final piece. And you will notice that the child would have done an analysis of the final piece where the child will talk about the experience in reaching to this final phase. And in it, they will talk about the work, what worked for them, what did not work, what decisions they had to make, and why they would have made the decisions. Alright, so that will apply for all of the samples, the candidate samples that they are presenting. Alright, And then we move on to the ending of the journal. So you have a conclusion. In your conclusion, the child will summarize the process, the art making process for that period of time that they would have studied art so far, what they would have learned, what they enjoyed, what challenges they faced, how they think they could better it, what advice would you give to future students, and so on. So again, you see, it is presented in a question format, and the students will be answering the question and putting those answers together in a cohesive way to give you that running commentary. Then you have the bibliography presented at the end. So in the bibliography, we need to see that the child would have explored a number of research methods, right, and research resources. So you have your primary resources, your secondary resources, your tertiary resources, and so on. Your interviews, your books, your magazines, internet resources, and internet resources are important things. How the child presents these internet resources. Some students, they go online and they just download the web page and they take that and stick it in their journal. That is not something that is encouraged. It is not best practice. What they have to do is that they go on the web page and they pull the pertinent information and present that in their own words as it relates to their course of study. So we need to encourage our students to go that way, to talk about making the information related to what they are studying. So it's not just about taking the information off the net. I remember that famous picture of Norris Aiton in the yellow and blue shirt for those students who print making, and they will go online and they will pull out the page and stick that page as is in their reflective journal. Those things could be considered plagiarism. So we have to be careful, and as teachers, we have to learn to guide our students away from that kind of practice. We have to encourage them. You do your research, you take what the information that you require from it and present that information in your own words as it relates to your topic. Alright? Then you have the appendix. Sometimes students may have additional information that they may want to share. So your transcript from your interviews, if you have one, these are some of the things that you would find in the appendices. So you would want to present this at that point.
Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can always know when I upload. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video here will give information on the CSEC Reflective Visual Arts Journal from Trinidad. So let's fly on and adjust it.